The Beekeeper 2024 Jason Statham movie overview. Directed by David Ayer, written by Kurt Wimmer, starring Jason Statham, Amy River, Lefman, Josh Hutcherson, Jeremy Irons, Minnie Driver, genre action and thriller. Runtime 1 hour 5 minutes. Release date January 12, 2024. Box office $150 million worldwide. Main cast and character Jason Statham as Adam Clay, the beekeeper, a retired elite government operative, calm, ruthless, and methodical. He is the definition of a controlled rage when provoked. Action highlights box office performance. Budget $40 million, worldwide gross $150 million. Opened strong in the US and UK, benefiting from Statham action fan base and a dry January release window. Found success on digital streaming platform post theatrical run due to its revenge thriller appeal. Reception criticism mixed reviews. Criticism praised Tassam's performance and the direction of David Ayer, but some found the story formulaic. Audience generally favorable. Action fans appreciate the intense passing, satisfying revenge plot, and social relevance. Rotten Tomatoes. Critics score 67%, audience score 82%. Fun fact: Statham did most of his own stunts as usual. Real bees were used in some scenes, and a real beekeeper consultant was on set. The film's tagline, "Don't poke the hive." Now the full story, The Beekeeper and review. The Beekeeper 2024 full story and review. First, directed by David Ayer, written by Kurt Wimmer, starring Jason Statham, Amy River Lampson. Release date January 12, 2024. General action thriller, runtime 1 or 5 minutes, box office $150 million worldwide. Introduction. In a cinematic era, increasing obsessed with the superhero specters and science fiction epics, The Beekeeper arrives as a surprisingly grounded, old school revenge thriller with modern cybercrime at its core. Jason Statham plays Adam Clay, a retired Black Ops agent who now lives in peace, tending to honeybees in rural New England. But when his kind hearted landlady falls victim to a predator pushing scam and takes her own life, Clay is reawakened. Directed by David Ayer and of Watch Free, The Beekeeper combined gritty action with real world issues. Beneath the explosive sequences lies a scathing critique of modern digital corruption, legal loopholes, and the institution that allows such explosion. It's part John Wick, part Death Wish with a flavor all its own. Full story, act by act breakdown. Act 1, The Calm Before the Storm. We are introducing to Adam Clay. Jason Statham is a quiet solitude. He is beekeeper on a small farm in Massachusetts, tending that his hives with zen-like calm. He is disciplined, meticulous, and clearly someone with a past. But his days now revolve around honey, silence, and the neighbor and landlady Alois Parker, physical redshirt in a short but powerful role. Eloise is a retired teacher who runs a small charity to support underserved students. She treats Adam like family, and their dynamic hints at a shared respect and quiet affection. This calm is shattered when Alois becomes a victim of a phishing scam. She gets an email from what appeared to be a trusted institute, and it's tricked into transferring the charity entire saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. When the fraud is uncovered and the charity collapses, Eloise is humiliated and devastated despite Adam's attempts to comfort her. She locks herself in her home and dies by suicide. Her death shakes Adam to the core. Soon after, Eloise's daughter, Verona Parker, Amy Rever Lampman, an FBI agent, arrives to investigate. She is distracted and suspicious, but the case is considered closed as a tragedy. For Adam, however, it's far from over. He finds Aloy's email and traces the phishing scam to a shady digital marketing company called Atomic Data Solution, fronted by a smug young executive named Derek Danforth Josh Hutcherson. Act 2. The bees being to swarm. Adam uncovers the scam layers. He infiltrates the Atomic's office disguised as a IT worker and violently interrogates a mid-level programmer. Learning the scam structure, he discovered the Atomics is just one limb of a vast operating involving call centers, shell companies, and corrupt policies political protection. It's at this point we learn about Clay past. He was a part of an ultra secret government group known as the Beekeeper. Operates used for deep extra legal national defense mission. Their motto protect the hive at all cost. They act when institutes fail. Clay contacts old contacts and finds that Wallace Westwild, Jeremy Irons, a powerful media mogul and political fixer, helped build legal shield for companies like Atomics. He begins dismantling the network with surgical precision. A call center in the Philippines is destroyed in a fire engineering by Clay. Executives disappear, legal records are wiped clean. Meanwhile, Agent Verona is investigating the series of violence events, untraceable yet clearly coordinate as she gets closer. She realizes they all connect to Eloise and to Clay. It's a pivotal scene. Verona confronts Clay and asks him to stop. He calmly tells her, if I stop, they will keep doing it to the next person. And the next, I am the firewall now. Verona is torn, Clay actions are criminal, but the institution that should prosecute these criminals are complicit. Act 3. The Hive's hurt. Clay sets his sights on Derek Danforth and the elite circle that supports him. Derek, cocky and drunk on privilege, thinks he is untouchable, but his arrogance leads him into a trap. At a glitzy teach gala, Clay confronts Derek, triggering a massive fight and hostage crisis in a brutal extended action sequence. Clay fights through Derek's private security, takes bullets, breaking bones and using improvised weapon. In one of the most symbolic scenes, Clay rings a room with explosive behaves as a fair tactic. After subduing Derek, Clay uploads videos evidence of Atomic's entire operation on the public via hijacked satellites feed. The fallout is immediate. Mass protests, resigns, and criminal charges. But Clay is not finished. He heads to Wallace Westred's private Iceland estate where a final showdown occurs. Wallace offers Clay immunity money and a return to the beekeeper. Clay refuses. In a chilling moment, Clay delivers the line, "You forgot the first rule of the hive. If the queen dies, the colony crumbles." He sets fire to the estate, killing Wallace. The film ends with Clay disappearing into the wilderness over as package a jar or honey and a note reading for the ones worth protecting. Critic analysis Adam Clay, Jason Statham is the top form here, deadly disciplined and human beneath his stone exterior. Clay is not a wise-cracking hero. He is stoic, wounded, and driven by justice. The beekeeper metaphor works surprisingly well. He is protective but ruthless when provoked. Statham's ground the character in physicality and intensity with minimum dialogue but maximum impact. Agent Verona Parker, Amy River Lampman. Verona is more than just a side character. Her arc from grieving daughter to conflicted agent provides an emotional counterweight. She brings warmth, frustration, and realism to a world otherwise ruled by violence. Derek Danforth, Josh Hutcherson. Derek is a detectable villain. Hutcherson play him with an unsettling smugness, a teach bro who thinks his money makes him immortal. The audience want to see him go down. Wallace Western, Jerome Irons. The puppet master Irons play him as a shadowy architect to corruption. His cold rationale that the system must be protected, even at the cost of innocent lives, clashes with Clay's raw justice theme. Justice in the face of corruption. The movie's strongest message is about institutional failure. Eloise suicide is not just a personal tragedy, it's a symbolic of how powerless people are against large scale scam. Clay violence, while unlawful, is portrayed as the only way to bring justice in a system designed to protect the wealthy. To the hive metaphor, bees are communal, protective, and essential to survival. The beekeeper organization mimics that, but Clay's journey flips the idea: what happens when the hive turns rotten. Clay sees himself as the only one who can purge the disease. 3. Cybercrime and legal immunity. The film's use of phishing scams and teach exploration is timely. The legal protection of scam networks echoes real-world scandals where corporations harm millions and walk away with fines or none at all. Direction, style, and action. David Ayer brings a gritty realism to the film, from dimly lit intergracious room to buzzing behaves and sleek corporate towers. The cinematography reflects the duty to of nature and teach. The action scenes are tight, brutal, and well choreographed, favor practical effect over CGI. The pacing is fast but patient enough to allow moment of character development and ethical contentment. The score is understand with a mix of electronic pulses and overheated tension. The sound design of bees buzzing is used thematically throughout, especially when clay is near violence. Box office and critical response. Budget $40 million, domestic gross $55 million, international gross $95 million, total $150 million. It became one of the sleeper hits of early 2024. Released during the January dump month, it's outperformed expectation due to strong word of mouth and action fan appeal. Rotten Tomatoes critic 67%, audience 82%. Common critique is some reviews found the plot predictable or derivative. Others argued that the justice through violence message was troubling. Common praise Statham performance tied practical action, modern release of cybercrime theme, solid direction by Ayer. Final verdicts. The Beekeeper is not revolutionary, but it's incredible effective at what it sets out to do. Deliver a brutal, satisfying revenge tale grounded in real world injustice. It combined physical action with emotional stakes and Statham crisis it like a seasoned warrior with nothing left to lose. If you like lone wolf revengers, morally complex stories, or thrillers with a touch of philosophical weight, The Beekeeper is worth the sting. Epilogue The World After Clay. As the beekeeper fades to black, Adam Clay vanishes from the grid. The world, however, feels the full impact of his campaign. In the final moment, a congressional hearing is held on corporate legal immunity. The media reels from leaks that expose dozens of politicians, executive, and foreign players connected to the scam ring. Derek Danforth's assets are seized. He is imprisoned but still smirking until he is killed in prison under mysterious circumstances. Meanwhile, Agent Verona Parker is promoted, still troubled by the moral gray areas of Clay's justice. She is offered a new assignment: find Clay or other like him. Sequel step The Beekeeper 2 Code Black. A year later, in a post credit sequence, we are taken to a remote region in Eastern Europe. A secret black site facility, once home to a beekeeper training camp, is attacked. Surveillance footage show a masked figure moving like clay, precious, lethal, untrackable. In Washington, direct Janet Carter, Minai driver, receives a red file, code black, Roj Beekeeper Network. Verona reads the name Clay, the secret cuts to black coming soon. The Beekeeper organization explained. The beekeeper are more than assassins originally a Cold War era black ops program created to eliminate domestic threats that bypass conventional law enforcement. They act as guardians of the hive, protecting national integrity through any means necessary. They operated under the radar for decades using beekeeping make for in their codes and philosophy. Queen the state hive society honey information swarm coordinated attacks. After 9/11, the program was shut down due to accountability concern. Clay, among the last of the beekeeper, buried his identity with the program's collapse. The film, the film suggests that clay reactivation and the wide support the garners online could inspire others. This opens the door for sequel with other of beekeeper to Clay as mentor to a younger operative. Character development the deeper threats. Adam Clay transformation. Clay starts as a man who has buried his violent past in bees and nature. His journey is not just about vengeance but reconnection to purpose. But the end, he is not just pushing evil, he is revealing systemic rot. What makes Clay completing is that he never loses control. Unlike typical anti-heroes driven by blind rage, Clay is truthful even gently until pushed. His discipline and philosophy protect the hive, make him both terrifying and admirable. He is not heroic is the traditional saying, he is necessarily a darker to a sicker disease. Verona's inner conflict. Verona's arc is just as significant, torn between legal protocol and emotional truth. She evolves from rigid law enforced to someone who seeks question authority. Watching Clay operate forced her to comfort the limitations of her badge. By the end, she is both grateful and disturbed. The honey jar gift symbolizes clay message. The world is better because of people like Alois and worth definition. Action breakdown scene that stings. The call center raid Philippines. Clay sneaks into a scam call center posing as a vendor. After exposing the managers completely, he sets off a chain of explosion using insections and honeycomb triggers. Symbolism corruption separates like infestation to burn it all. Number two, interrogation with bees. Clay captures a mid level coder from Atomics and straps him to a chair inside a greenhouse. Unleashed bees to force a confession, they only sting liars. Symbolism truth can only come when fear outweighs silence. Corporate tower sign. During Derek Danforth teach Smith, Clay disables power and initiates a building lockdown. He moves through floors silently, disabling bodyguard one by one. Uses B as a distraction tactic, flooding air vents. Message. Even the most secure system are vulnerable to someone with purpose and skill. social and political community. Through its an action thriller, The Beekeeper is not subtle about its disdain for unchecked capitalism and cyber exploitation. Predator tech. Atomics mirrors real world companies explosion, legal gray zones, from dark UX patterns to data thief. The scam techniques show are chillingly plausible. Immunity for the rich. Wallace Westwild control of media and legal structures reflects how modern oligarchs shield themselves from prosecution. Clay war is not just against individuals, it's against the system of laws them. Inspection analysis criticism versus fan. Criticism mixed response. Some film reviews critiques the simplest morality and violence and indulgence. A few pointed out that the bee metaphor was overused and that the script lacked nuance in some places. Yet they praised David Ayer's tight direction, gritty realism of action, Statham abilities to anchor the story without theatrics. Audience enthusiasm. Viewer loved that costings of seeing scammers punishing, especially in an age of AI scams and financiers, the idea of quietest test that things. Bees don't kill unless the hive's under attack. Guess what? No courtroom, no appeals, just consequence. We used to protect the hives. Now the hives is rotting from the queen down. They stole from the helpless. I am here to take it back with interest. These lines elevate Clay from a typical action hero to a symbol of moral riskoning. Thought it leans into action tropes, the emotional core, Aloy's tragedy, Clay's characters, and a modern themes give it a deeper edge. It's not just about fighting scammer, it's about confronting the structures that pretend them. In a world filled with flashy blockbusters, The Beekeeper feels like a rare honeycomb, rough on the outside, rich at the once. Plot concept: the beekeepers two code blikes logline after exposing the corrupt elite behind a global scam network. Adam Calais resurfaces to dismantle a new hive of cyber criminals. This time was connection to rough elements within the beekeeper organization itself. Act 1 The Return. The world has changed since Clay vanished, inspired by his crusade. Internet communication idolized him as a folk hero. A new hacker collective, codenamed Hive Mind, begins targeting the wealthy in his name. But without clear restraints, the action escalate into domestic terrorism. In a covert facility, Agent Verona Parker, now with the Department of Homeland Security, is briefed on a new directive. Former beekeepers are being hunted down, some reactivated, others raw. Manuel Clay is living in Eastern Europe, tending bees in a abandoned Soviet station, but when hive mind bombs a charity hospital claiming it's part of a corrupt network, Clay knows the movement in his name is being weaponized. Reluctantly, he returns acts to the true enemy. Clay investigates and finds Hive Mind is being manipulated by a new antagonist, codenamed Apex Rex, Latin King Bee. Rex is a former beekeeper leader turned digital warlord using the ideology of justice to destabilize governments. Clay and Verona reunite. They trust in energy but necessary. Together they discover Rex has built an army of sleeper agents, trained beekeepers who believe the state is beyond saving. Introduction: Rex hives, a data fortress buried beneath a tech hub in Thalen Calais, faced moral choices: stop a war or let the old hive die. Act 3, the final sting. The climax is a full scale battle in the Estonian forest where Clay confronts Rex in a burning apiary. They fight in near silence, lit by fire and swarming bees. Clay wins, but at a great cost. Rex reveals a hidden truth. Clay was never deactivated. The beekeeper protocol is still alive. Clay is now the queen. The film ends ambiguously. Clay disappears agent again while Verona recovers a new mission folder with a beekeeper seal suggestion she may be next. Character acts in code black. Adam Clay, Jason Statham evolves from lone average to reluctant symbol, restless with the danger of being defined. His goal shifts from revenge to preventing a movement from becoming with it fought again. Verona Parker, Amy Revere Lampman become Clay moral anchor, learn to operate in the gray zone but with purpose. Potential her in the beekeeper mentally symbolize the next generation of protectors. Apex Rex, new anthropologist, former trainer of Claire, driven made by betrayal and loss, believes tears down the system entirely in the only path, a dark mirror to Clay, brilliant methodist, terrifying. Symbolism deep dive. 1. The hive as society. The beekeeper films use bees to represent collective society. Healthy hive, moral unity, diseases hive, corruption spreading through allied immunity. Rough hives, chows terrorism under the guise of justice. Honey and information. In both films, jars of honey represent more than sweetness. They are data vessels, encrypted drives in code black. Metaphor for truth, sticky, slow to process, but healing when used right. Clay as the queen. In bee colonies, the queen leads but does not fight. In code black, Clay is told he has become the myth, the one other resolve around. His struggle how to remain human in the eyes of others while being a symbol of unstoppable justice. Fan theories and meta reading. Verona as the true beekeeper. Some fans speculate that the entire first film is Verona's origin story, her evolution, moral testing, and evolutional ascension hints at the transfer of power from Clay to her. The suicide was a message. Another theory posting that Aloy's death was not just despair, but a trigger. She may have now Clay past and deliberately pushed him into action to avenge others. The high is still watching. The anonymous beekeepers program may not be dead. Clay action could have awakened sleeper cells globally. What happens when others activate? Influence of modern action cinema. The Beekeeper franchise's cinematic elements of John Wick, a light underworld order and brutal choreography. The Equalizer, Wright's lone man with corrupt system. Mr. Robot, cyberpunk rebellion against capitalism, but it stands out because of its moral clarity. Despite the violence, the mission is personal and purpose driven. Symbolic storytelling. The bees metaphors give the film a mythic structure. Real world release, cyber fraud, data abuse, and institutional injustice are all painfully current. Cultural impact, rise of the real justice action hero. Audience are responding more to flawed, grounded heroes who operate in morally complex system. Clay is neither a superhero nor a pure villain. His former weapon forced a become a conscience. Meme and online variety. Clay quotes have become memes. Protect the hive, burn the root. The phrase "I am the firewall" now has become symbolic of personal responsibility in an age of institutional failure. Merchandising and media spin-offs. Streaming ministration pitch. The Beekeeper origin set during the Cold War explosion, the early days of the program. Graphic novel tie-in. The Hive Protocol follow a team to beekeepers hunting a mole inside their own ranks. Video game concept. Tactical stealth action game where players control Calais or Verona through modern mission with non-lethal and lethal path. Final thought, why the beekeeper work. In a chaotic work of information fraud are rising inquiry. The beekeeper is intense because it's offered both catharsis and commentary. It asks difficult questions. Can justice exist without institutions? What happens when heroes become mythics? And what price must be paid for the truth change? Jason Statham's performance is what grounding his revenge thriller in humanity, his quiet strength, painful restraint, and occasional fury paints a picture not of an action good but a wounded warrior who refused to stand by. Overall score 8.410. Brutal session and the revelation systematic river and career highlight performance, ground yet mythic tone, real world stakes with functional failure. Yes, okay. Slight overuse of metaphors, not a simplistic villain is part. Now, thanks for watching and like, subscribe, share if you enjoy it, and tell me the next movie I will make review on this.